Good morning and welcome to the Coolest Coast. It is Wednesday, June 3rd, 2020. I'm Tina Prigge. I am joined by my fellow mom and entrepreneur, Kristin Odell. You are joining us for Coffee with Kristin and Tina. We do want to just lead off that we're feeling pretty emotional this morning. Like so many people, we are in a place where it's complicated, confusing. These are anxious times.
Mm-hmm. So to start things off today, we've just decided that we're going to take a moment of silence today. I think last week we saw the life of George Floyd be impacted negatively. And since then, it certainly had an impact on many, many lives. And, I think that I'm fortunate because I'm white and I'm privileged. So
we want to take a moment to appreciate where we are, how we are, pay homage to those who are suffering, acknowledging the loss of life. Just take a moment of silence with us to think in your way or pray in your way or meditate in your way on everything that's been happening and how we can affect change positively. Thank you so much for doing that with us. There is no easy solution, and we are definitely part of a bigger world here. And I think only by talking through it and doing what we can to intentionally fill our lives with compassion and love can we positively go forward. And for anyone that is interested in doing a little bit more, we are aware that there's a vigil tonight in Manitowoc being held by Pastor Matt Sauer and Donna Furman. And I think, Kristin, is that going to be at City Hall?
Yep, that's where it is. City Hall, 900 Quay Street, right downtown. 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock tonight. So if that's something that you're interested in, you can attend.
So, just to shift with a moment of humor, I saw this meme and this really kind of summed up how 2020 is going so far, right? If 2020 was a bag of chips, that horrible combination of orange juice and toothpaste.
Right. I think there's anything with toothpaste is usually pretty yucky. Yeah, it also feels a little, it feels a little sour or a little bit like there seems to just be one thing after another. So if anything, I'm starting to feel like we are seeing how resilient we are and how capable we are, which it has some exciting pieces to it.
But wait, there's more.
Wait, you're not quite done yet. There's one more thing coming. I know you'll be okay. Right.
I did see an article yesterday. It was a science article, and apparently there was a cave that had been sealed for like 5 million years, they guesstimate. And apparently the scientist, it said, discovered 33 creatures inside. And somebody posted and said, wait, man, this is not the year. Like, seal it back up. Don't even. So.
Right. Good morning, Patty. Thank you for joining us.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you for being here. So on to a more positive note, Kristin, you did something super cool yesterday. Honestly, wait, hold up that cup. And that kind of reminds me of this other image I'm going to ask Jason to put up, this cool image of you from yesterday. Tell us a little bit about this. That is so cool, Kristin.
So yesterday, I was supposed to be in Omaha this week for a conference with Gallup. As some of you know, I am certified with Gallup as a strengths coach. Here's my top 5 strengths in case anybody's wondering. And so instead of doing that, they moved everything to a virtual format. So it was one day, it was a full day. And I kind of thought, man, this might stink because I can't imagine sitting in front of the computer. But the virtual experience with Gallup was just incredible. And so if Jason has this, when you logged in to the website yesterday through the link they sent you, you basically walked into like the lobby of a conference center. And there were all these options and different things that you could do. And so for the main sessions, like the keynotes and things like that, you clicked on that auditorium door and it took you into the auditorium. So like there's all of these seats. It like looks like you're at the event on screen. And then all of the, I guess, events or things would launch from this screen. So if it was a keynote, you'd click on it and it would go full screen on your computer at home and you would get to watch the event. And then all those other little things were breakout rooms where they were Zoom breakout sessions, and the chat boxes were crazy. And I learned so many new different things within just even the Zoom format. And so, kind of the exciting thing about this is I learned so much yesterday. I'm so excited, encouraged to bring those things back. And, I use strengths all the time. I coach executives, I coach small business owners, I coach people who are just struggling with one particular thing like time management, or I'm not organized, or all these things. And we always do it from the lens of strengths and from a lens of positivity. And so yesterday, Gallup, showed up in such a big way and just gave us this incredible experience of the conference. So,
and is that the first time you've had an experience like that virtually?
Yeah,
I mean, with one of your strengths training?
I feel like, we've done a lot of like the Zoom meetings and things like that, but this just conference center format, you could go in there and chat with people or network with people. There was a help desk where you could click and ask people questions and they would interact with you. I mean, it just was so professionally and well done that it made the day intriguing. And that picture Jason had of me with the 34th strengths behind me, that was a photo booth within that site. You could go in, snap a picture of yourself, and then like the background, the empower people, disrupt the workplace, change the world, Gallup at work, all those things were individual pieces, and you got to basically customize your screen and save it. So it was just like if I was at the conference just on my computer.
That is so cool. I love the creativity that brought out, and the fact that they were still able to go forward and did it in such an impressive way. I love the fact that they used all of the tools and technology available to them. What a cool experience.
It was really cool. So I don't know what the final number was, but there was over 3,000 people from all over the globe that participated in that call yesterday, or in that event yesterday. And there were breakout sessions. I was in one that had like 350 people. And then I was in one that had 900 people in a Zoom call, which is my largest Zoom call I have ever been in, probably maybe will ever be in. And it was.
So tell us how that works a little bit. Like 900 people in a Zoom call. Like, do you have to raise your hand if you're going to speak, or how does that work?
They utilize the chat box. So the minute you got in, you shared where you were from. I actually connected with an individual that is originally from Manitowoc that lives and retired in Washington, and he saw that I commented I was from Manitowoc, and so we've connected on LinkedIn, and we're gonna do a follow-up call. Like, it's just so crazy how that happens. But yeah, people would use the chat box. If you had questions while the presenters were doing their thing, you could submit questions, and then they would either highlight them right away or bring them up at the end. And it was just, they utilized polling, they utilized different activities with the chat box. And so it just was so cool to see how you can engage your audience, especially an audience that large, in a session. So some of that, the chat box would just go and go. Like if you can imagine, hundreds of comments on Facebook, it was basically the same thing. So,
and it's cool that you were still able to make a connection with people too in that environment.
Right. So if any of you have had an experience like this, I would love to hear where else you experienced this or what that experience was like for you. I was a bit awestruck yesterday when I logged in. I snapped pictures and sent them to Doug right away and was like, you're not going to believe what this looks like on the screen. So it was pretty cool.
And it's cool you mentioned meeting another person from Manitowoc out in the world. I've been thinking so much about how Manitowoc really does impact the world, like the products and the things that people do here. We're a small community, but we make a large impact. And another gentleman was just telling me a story recently about how he was in Thailand and he was on this small island in a scuba diving shop. And they were talking about how they were going to scuba dive on the wreck of a submarine that happened to be there. And he said, yeah, it's the submarine that was built in some small town in Wisconsin called Manitowoc. And the guy was just like, what? I'm from Manitowoc, and it happened to be the USS Legardo. So it's just, that type of thing. When you see all of the stuff that's being manufactured, every time a wind tower, is going down the road, that's going out into the world to make a difference. And there are so many cool products like that and cool people right here on the coolest coast. I just respect.
Right.
It just amazes me.
Yeah, I think going out and meeting people from our community is so cool. And the other thing is just networking with people. I mean, these virtual formats make the big, huge globe that we live on feel not so small. I heard from people from New Zealand and, all of the Asian countries. And there was somebody on a YouTube podcast from Brazil. And I mean, just to hear all these beautiful accents and all these beautiful backgrounds and just all of these things and men and women represented it just was really incredible.
You know what, Sarah? That is a good point. I have no idea. I did not hear the story myself. So yeah, whether Manitowoc was pronounced correctly, I don't know.
Right. Manitowoc. Or Manitowoc if you're from here.
Which, when you think about it, we're actually probably butchering it because originally it was like Mundiwalk or something, meaning home of the Great Spirit. So
if somebody else can provide some phonical direction on that, we will take it.
We love phonical direction.
Very good. Well, I just picked my cup up again, so I feel
Kristin, like another cool cup.
This
with the K, I like it.
Over in the moment gave this to me. This used to be my coffee chat cup with her, and she recently just finished a table for me, and so she gifted it to me. Since I am now on a new coffee show, so I thought that was so sweet. So cheers to you, Jen. Also, this is just maybe a good spot, Tina, if you're okay with this, to mention we are transitioning from moms in lockdown to
coffee with Kristin and Tina.
Coffee with Kristin and Tina. Yes. Since we're not totally on lockdown anymore, we couldn't keep the lockdown name. So we'll still talk about all things work and life and fun. I'm missing something. What was the other?
Marriage, work.
Marriage.
Things we're passionate about.
Yes. Oh, there we go, Patty. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
Speaking of business, I know that there are other small business owners like us that are watching the show. And just in case you're not aware, I know that the city of Manitowoc, the city of Two Rivers, Investors Community Bank, Bank First National, and I think a couple of other interests came together, created a fund, and it's called the Small Business COVID Relief Fund. And the application process for that just opened yesterday. I don't think it'll be open very long, but if you have a small business in either Manitowoc or Two Rivers, you might want to take a look at applying if you were impacted, like a lot of us were, by the recent pandemic. And then I know the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation has something similar that is the nomination or the application process will open on June 15th. And they're specifically designed to help small businesses cover things like mortgage or rent payments, insurance payments, utilities, possibly payroll. So in case you aren't aware of that, take a look. If you need more information, reach out to me after the show and I can help you get connected.
Yeah, and I think the chamber will have a link. Maybe we can just share that in the comments after we get done today.
Yes.
How you can find that.
Yeah, that's true on the chamber website. Okay.
Tina, tell us about your new fancy shirt.
Coolest coast.
That embrace.
Finally, like after months and months of wearing scarves and multiple layers, like, look, there's actually skin. I wouldn't really look at it though, because it's all pasty and
It's okay. I'm just gonna wear my tank dress today. Let's see if you guys can see this. But do you see I have a little bit of tan going on?
Your tan is boss, Kristin. You look really good.
So I put a sweater on so you guys didn't have to be distracted by the white and tan happening on my arm.
So today, 15 years ago, right now, you would not have seen me because I was in labor for 39 hours. So, which I didn't even know was legal, but it was all completely worth it because it's this kid's 15th birthday today. That's Teak. And I just want to wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Teak, you stud. He's like moving into manhood today a little bit.
Yeah, it's really true. We signed him up for driver's education, so he'll be starting that this summer. So everybody look out.
Peace be with you.
No. What's that?
I said, peace be with you.
Yeah. Yeah. He's pretty responsible, though. I think he'll do a good job at it. And he's happily finished school, so he's done with that for the year. That was a success.
That's awesome. So Tina was sharing before that he was born at 9:30 p.m. So any big celebrations on the agenda for tonight, or is it secret?
I would love it if any other moms had some suggestions for how to make it special. We are going to have some cake and lunch with the grandmas and grandpa this afternoon. Thanks, Patty. Thanks for recognizing that. Yeah, 39 hours. Honestly, I don't know how that even happened. I wanted to do it as naturally as possible, and then it just didn't happen, and it ended up in an emergency C-section. So
I feel like you earned that C-section after hours.
Notice he is an only child, so
ruined you. Oh my goodness, that's so
momhood.
Well, hopefully he has a good day. Yeah, if you guys, high school moms, have any ideas, feel free to tap in and share those with Tina and Jason. He's behind the scenes, but he's here.
Yeah, he is. Thanks, Mary. Oh, and seeing a comment from Mary, that reminds me, Mary is hosting a front porch jamboree. It is going to be June 14th. 11:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's pretty cool. Mary has her instrument out on the porch, and she just entertains her neighborhood. And you're welcome to stop by and, clap and give her some support and enjoy.
Very good. So listen, yesterday the weather was like epic, record breaking. Did you do anything yesterday to enjoy the weather?
I was outside, and then, oh my gosh, I was near a window watching that lightning storm last night. That was incredible. I hope that there was no damage around. I actually haven't been outside this morning to make sure of that around our house either, but that was something else.
Yeah. Doug and I sat after our girls went to bed. Well, they didn't stay in bed because there was too much thunder and lightning to sleep. But yeah, we just sat and watched out our north facing window, and it was the most incredible lightning show I think I maybe have ever seen. And what made it unique is I feel like the lightning bolts were above the clouds. So it's just like a strobe light. You didn't actually get to see the lightning bolts. I don't know.
Yeah. And then the thunder, it just rumbled. I mean, it actually was vibratory.
Right. One of the times there was like a giant crack, and Grace came down. She's like, "Did you hear that?" And we were like, "I'm pretty sure everybody everywhere around us heard that, because you could feel it in your chest from the thunder just rattled our whole house."
I really almost feel like the weather is representative of the unsettled world order that's currently happening. So wasn't it like a Sunday that I was thinking about turning the heat on? It was that cold. And then yesterday, my car thermometer said 101 degrees. And then it was this wicked, crazy storm last night.
Right. Yeah. And now I feel today, I was out this morning. I got my workout in today, and it is going to be warm again today, but the sun is shining. There's a breeze. Like, I feel like there's calm in the air today after that storm last night. So I know my girls are really like, can we please get the pool out again today? So I think that hopefully we'll find some time this afternoon to get that. Yeah, Patty, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
Mother Nature's boss. We don't have any say in what happens there.
Mary said her cats hit the deck. They ran and hid. Those are some smart cats.
Yeah. Don't you think that animals know? Oh yeah, a cutie flag. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone has seen the images. Thanks for bringing that up, Sarah. I saw a post that the acuity flag is basically like ripped in half and in tatters, and pretty symbolic of just the division and anxiety that are surrounding us right now.
Right. Yeah. That wind and that power certainly was no joke last night, and so we're seeing symbols of that all over.
So I'm interested to know how other people are going to embrace the summer. Kristin, do you have plans for more camping? You said you'll get the pool out.
Right. So it's been kind of interesting because some of the things that we would have had have been canceled. There is some things. So my girls play softball with Manitowoc Youth Baseball. They've decided the board to try to have a season and are making arrangements for kids to play, which we're really excited about. And so we're kind of figuring out how to make that happen. And then, it's going to be a lot of camping. So like I said, some of the weekends open up, which we are thankful. We will always go camping. I know it's not Sarah's version of camping, but that's okay.
Nobody is as hardcore as Sarah.
That's right. The other thing we're going to do today is my husband built, I've mentioned this a couple times, he built a new in-ground garden box, and it's done and we hauled all the fill last weekend, and so we're going to plant that this week. And so I think it'll just be a really good experience for the girls to not only think about caring for those plants, but hopefully enjoying the fruits of our hard work in the harvest. So
that's a great idea. Oh, speaking of the storm, Sarah's got a comment about her bearded dragons giving her a weird look because the door blew open.
Yeah.
Oh, and then creating an evacuation plan. Yeah, good idea.
Yep. Yeah, the girls talked about, do we need to go in the basement tonight? And so it's like, well, we're not at this point. I think they were trying to get out of bedtime maybe. But I was like, no, everything's okay. But mom and dad are watching. And if something changes, we will certainly come and get you and head downstairs. But, it is a good idea to kind of have an evacuation plan and to be thinking about that.
And one thing, I did not hear the sirens at all last night. I don't know if I missed it, but I never heard them go off with any kind of warning. So
I don't feel like it ever got bad enough to warrant siren level warnings.
Nice. Yeah, it was just an incredible display. So, okay, moms, here's what I need to know. So Teak has started to ask if he can hang out with his friends again. Wants to have a sleepover, wants to do things. So where are we at with that? Are we relaxed? Are we encouraging that? Are you allowing that? Give me your advice.
What have you done so far? Have you been limited so far?
So for the entire time we were in lockdown, he saw nobody other than us. And then this past weekend, his really good friend invited him for a sleepover. And we're like, okay. So we let him go. He took his mask and he, hopefully was respectful and prepared. I don't know.
Right.
But it went well, but I just don't know. I still feel a little anxious. Was that the right decision? If another invite comes in, or is it all just, okay, let's go? Right. Or are we holding back? What do you think?
Some of this I think has just been, we kind of talked about this, I think, last week, but discretionary based on how everybody feels, right? So we've started to have people reach out and say, would you guys feel comfortable with this? Or do you feel comfortable playing outside? Or, just kind of asking different questions. And so we've been doing something like bonfires outside with friends over the last couple of weeks. And, I feel very safe. Last weekend, we were at a fire with some good friends and the kids were playing the huggy game. And I feel like that's just very indicative of what they need right now. That physical contact, and, they were running and kind of playing a tag game, but part of it included a hug. And I thought, I don't want to stop that. We as humans have such a need for physical contact and touch that, I just let them have fun. And you know what? We showered them when they got home and we all went to bed, and, here we are almost a week later and everybody is okay. So yeah, Patty, keep the circle small, but growing it smartly. I think that's great. A great idea and a great approach. We returned back Strand Open this week. We are members there. We went back to climbing this week, and they had hand sanitizer out. The kids washed their hands while we were there, and when we got home, we just had everybody wash up really good. And same thing. I feel like the activity and that social aspect of it at this point is what they need. And so I don't know.
Awesome. You mentioned the climbing, Kristin. Have you tried it yourself?
Oh yeah, I love it. Yeah, I love it. When we were in our normal routine, my daughter Josie would go to CrossFit Kids, and then Grace and I, my oldest, would actually climb together for an hour. And it is an incredible workout. Your legs, like every part of your body works. So it's really fun. And there's nothing like letting go from the top and just enjoying that ride back down to the floor. So
I really want to do it. I've been wanting to do it, and I'm just trying to feel brave enough. And so hearing like another mom does it, I really want to try.
Yeah, I don't know. It's empowering to be up there. Like in some cases, I don't know. Maybe somebody can tell me how high the ceilings are there if you climb to the top. It's definitely like 50 feet, I feel like. And so it's pretty exhilarating to let go. Yeah, Devil's Tower in Wyoming.
Now that's a whole different experience. I feel like that might be something Sarah would attempt, but I don't think I could attempt like free climbing. Wow, that's pretty cool, Mary.
I don't know if it's still open, but we did this a couple of years with the kids. Actually, Nora was little. We did the fire tower in Mountain, Wisconsin. If anybody else has been there, jump in on this. But it is very high. And once you get out, you can just see for miles and miles and miles around of the national forest up there. And when we got to the top, the clubhouse was swaying in the wind because you're so high up. And I had the 3 girls with me, and Nora was very little, and she refused to go down the steps to go down. So I had to carry her down the fire tower steps from the top. So in addition to like being a little shaky myself, then I had this, 20-pound child clinging to my body like a little chimp. But
that's interesting. One of the skills that a mom has to have, right, is being able to have that face of bravery, even when you might not necessarily feel that way, but, putting on that good face to make sure that your kids feel safe and no anxiety.
Right. Oh, Patty, this is a good one. So trust your gut, Tina. Have open conversations. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that comment will serve us well in everything we've been talking about today. Having open conversations with your kids and explaining all the things is really, really important. I'm sure Tina too, those kinds of things will just serve you well as Teat goes into full-on high school years and has all of those bizarre experiences that happen that it can only possibly happen in high school. And, hopefully that dialogue will help.
Yeah, Patty, thanks for posting that affirmation. That is a really good mantra to have. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today and participating in this show. We are so happy to see you, and we look forward to the next Coffee with Kristin and Tina.
Have a great day, guys. Thank you for joining.
Take care, everyone.